All right, good evening, everyone. My name is Andrea Swayatoka. I'm the Deputy Chief of Facility Management for MCPS. Thank you for joining us this evening. We are going to start this evening with a quick presentation of the updated options for the Woodward and Northwood expansion boundary this evening. We are just going to do this one time. This has also been recorded and available on our website, and we will do it virtually again Thursday, I guess that is tomorrow evening as well. So this is a shorter presentation. We will not take live Q&A here, but like we've been doing, we already have staff members in the back at the different maps. Myself and Kat will be around and happy to answer questions after the presentation. Thank you for joining. These are the 3 additional options again, and we have each of the maps scattered around. And with that, I will pass it over to Kat Malchody to walk us through the slides. Thank you.
Good evening. And if you want to pick up a packet so you have one while I'm talking, you are welcome to go grab one so that you have it. It is the packet that has the additional options in it. And so they're kind of scattered everywhere. And like Andrea said, we record these, and so we put them on the web page. All of the ones that have been done have been posted. And then tomorrow we have a virtual session around lunchtime. And then that will be posted English and Spanish. We have our interpreter here, and then we also have other language services available for you should you need them. We have some of our fabulous specialists who are here who are very connected to our communities, and so we're very thankful. And then we have a lot of our fabulous experts ready to go. So thank you. Okay. Welcome to the December 2025 Additional Options Public Information Meeting for the opening of Woodward High School and the expansion of Northwood High School. So these are the options that are in addition to the current options A through D. So options A through D, which we presented in early October, are still out. They are still part of the boundary study, still available on the webpage. These are the additional options that include the proposal for the potential closure of Silver Spring International Middle School. The packet that you have is based on the additional options. The maps also are based on that, and they're around the room. And then we're going to turn this into an interactive map tool as soon as I'm done. So you'll have that. And the survey has been updated to include the information for the additional options, which I will talk about at the end. And you have until January 9th, 2026, which sounds crazy, to complete the survey. Okay. We are using these meetings, like I said, to share the additional options E through G, so E, F, G. And you will have the opportunity to give feedback. These options were developed based on the Board of Education's resolution to amend the scope of the boundary study that was adopted on October 30th, 2025. And the link to that resolution is on the boundary webpage. Your feedback will be synthesized along with the feedback we've been collecting throughout the fall to support the option development process. And that's when the superintendent will make a recommendation and present it to the board. The board is going to hold work sessions and public hearings and then make a final decision in March. The implementation for the boundary assignments will begin in the 27-28 school year. These are the high schools and middle schools in the scope for this boundary study. There are no elementary schools in this current boundary study scope. And while the elementary school assignment will stay the same, the assigned high school and or middle school could change for those in this scope. A future elementary school boundary study has been proposed after this one is completed. Okay, so the boundary study process is guided by Board Policy FAA, which is Educational Facilities Planning. The 4 factors that are outlined in this policy are considered when recommendations for boundary options are developed. These 4 factors are demographic characteristics of student population, geography, stability of school assignment over time, and facility utilization. There is no weighting or priority for the 4 factors when determining boundary options. When developing recommendations for the board, the superintendent of schools will provide a rationale for each recommendation that demonstrates the extent to which each of the 4 factors are advanced. And while each factor is considered, it may not be feasible to reconcile each and every recommendation with each and every factor. Throughout the process, community input is sought in accordance with Board Policy ABA, community engagement. Okay, so what I'm going to do is do a little bit of an overview of each of the 3 options. As we stated, we have people stationed at each of the option station sections. If you've heard this presentation already, you are welcome to immediately go and start talking to people who are at the tables. We have fabulous experts, or you can sit and listen. It is up to you, whatever you are comfortable with. And so for option E, you can see that Silver Spring International Middle School is proposed to be closed in this option. It is very similar to option A, which is currently out, with that exception. And then there are a few highlights that are here. And then we also just wanted to remind you of the program regions, 1 and 3. For Board Policy, FAA, Educational Facilities Planning, Facility Utilization, school boundary assignment plans should result in facility utilization in the 80 to 100% efficient range over the long term whenever possible. And so in option E, you can see which middle schools and high schools in the scope fall within, above, or below that 80 to 100% efficient range. And in this particular option, all of them fall within or below for that. Okay. According to Board Policy FAA, Educational Facilities Planning, school boundary assignment plans should especially strive to create a diverse student body in each of the affected schools in alignment with Board Policy ACD, Quality Integrated Education. So demographic data showing the impact of the various options include the following: racial and ethnic composition of student population, socioeconomic composition of student population, the level of English language learners, and other reliable demographic indicators and participation in specific educational programs. In option E, you can see the percentage of resident students decreases, increases, or remains the same for those students who participate in the free and reduced price meal program, or FARMS, and those students who are emergent multilingual learners, or EML. The option E data tables, which you should have in your packet, also include demographic data by race and ethnicity, which is defined in MCPS at a glance and self-reported by families. Okay. Here is the high school overview map for option E. A large-scale version of this map is located in the back of the room. It is also available on the webpage, and you can sort of narrow in on different pieces of it, and you can also use the interactive map tool to see it. Similarly, there is a middle school overview map for each option, and those large-scale maps are available in this room as well as on the web page. And so now I'm going to switch and talk about option F. Okay. So according to Board Policy FAA, Educational Facilities Planning, school boundary assignments should, unless otherwise required, take into account the geographic proximity of communities to schools, as well as articulation, traffic, transportation patterns, and topography. In addition, options should consider, at a minimum, not only schools within a high school cluster, but also other adjacent schools. And so you can see for this option, again, for these three options, this is the proposed Silver Spring International Middle School closure. Some of the highlights of this option are here, and again, the program regions 1 and 3. And according to board policy FAA, educational facilities planning, school boundary assignments should result in facility utilization assignments within the 80% to 100% efficient range over the long term whenever possible. And in option F, you can see the middle schools and high schools in this boundary study scope that fall above, below, or within the 80 to 100% efficient range. If you notice again, in option F, all of the schools fall either within or below that efficient range for the schools in this scope. Okay. According to board policy FAA, educational facilities planning, school boundary assignments should especially strive to create a diverse student body in each of the affected schools in alignment with board policy ACD, quality integrated education. Demographic data showing the various options or the impact include racial and ethnic composition of student population, socioeconomic composition of student population, the level of English language learners, and other reliable demographic data indicators, and participation in specific educational programs. In option F, you can see the percent of resident students increasing, decreasing, or remaining the same for those students who participate in the free and reduced price meal program, or FARMS, and for those who are identified as emergent multilingual learners, or EML. The option F data tables, which you have in your packet and are available online, also include demographic data by race and ethnicity as defined in MCPS at a glance and self-reported by families. Okay, here is the high school overview map for option F. And again, there's a larger scale version of it in the back of the room, as well as on the website. And that's the high school one. And same thing, middle school overview map for option F. And a large scale version of this map is also available on the webpage and in the back of the room. Okay, the last one I'm going to talk about is option G, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about the virtual resources, and then we'll turn this into an interactive map tool so that you can use it, if you would like. Okay, option G. So according to board policy FAA, educational facilities planning, school boundary assignment plans should, unless otherwise required, take into account the geographic proximity of communities to schools, as well as articulation, traffic, transportation patterns, and topography. In addition, options should consider at a minimum not only schools within a high school cluster, but also other adjacent schools. And again, here are some of the highlights from option G, as well as program regions 1 and 3. Okay. According to board policy FAA, school boundary assignment plans should result in facility utilization in the 80% to 100% efficient range over the long term, whenever possible. And in option G, you can see the middle schools and high schools in the boundary study scope that fall within, above, or below that 80 to 100% efficient range. And as you can see, again, all the schools in the scope fall within or below the preferred range for this option. And this is option G. And again, according to board policy FAA, educational facilities planning, school boundary assignments should especially strive to create a diverse student body in each of the affected schools in alignment with board policy ACD, which is quality integrated education. The demographic data shows the impact of various options, including racial and ethnic composition of student population, socioeconomic composition of student population, the level of English language learners, as well as other reliable demographic indicators and participation in specific educational programs. In option G, you can see the percent of resident students increases, decreases, or remains the same for those students who participate in the free and reduced price meal program, or FARMS, as well as those who are identified as emergent multilingual learners, or EML. In addition, in your packet and online, the data tables contain demographic data by race and ethnicity as defined in MCPS at a glance and self-reported by families. And so here is the high school overview map for option G. A large-scale one is available in the back of the room as well as online. And then here is the middle school overview map for option G. Same thing, large-scale version is available in the back and online. Okay, so the options resource page has been updated to include options E, F, and G. A, B, C, and D are still there, so you can see what they look like. For each option, you can see the different pieces that are available for you to click on and to navigate, and the survey. And so there's a bit.ly for it, there's a QR code, and like I said, I'm gonna turn this screen into a interactive map tool for those who would like to use it. This is what the interactive map tool looks like now with the updated options. So I wanted to show this so that you could see when you go to the interactive map tool and you zero in on an area by clicking on it, or you type in your address, you will get options A through D and E, F, and G. And you'll see the middle school assignment and high school assignment, as well as the existing elementary, middle, and high school assignments. So I wanted you to just see what it looks like so you can see when you go to it, it looks a little different now. Okay, and then finally, the survey is available. It has the additional options, and they're tagged as added December 1st for each one of them. The open-ended question is still there for you to give just any feedback. There's an additional question at the end that also allows you to go back and give any feedback from options 1, 2, 3, 4 that you would want to elevate to the team. And so we linked that. You're welcome to go and sort of look at that and say, hey, I really liked this piece of it, and put that in the feedback. This survey is open until January 9th, 2026. For you to use, and we have a ton of people around who are here to help. And what I'm going to do now is turn the screen into the interactive map tool, so if anyone would like to use it, they are welcome to do so, and we're just going to transition that. All of our staff is available for you to ask questions, and they are scattered around the room for you to be able to do that. I'm going to reset this, and if anyone wants to talk to me about the map, they can, but please know that we have many staff members here who are really happy to be here to help you. So thank you.